Welcome to our video lesson on solving subtraction equations. To start, I want to remind you that our goal in these type of problems, is to get the variable alone. This is just like the addition problems we did. We need to have an answer that looks something like this, where we have the c equals and then a number here, but there can't be anything else on the same side of the equal sign as the c. It can only be the c alone. Same if it's a different variable like p. Here, p needs to be by itself beside the equal sign. The other thing is, if we have the n, in this example here, on the opposite side of the equal sign, so this side here, instead of being on this side, that's completely fine as long as it's alone and there's nothing else there. So keep in mind, what we're trying to do here is eliminate anything else that is with the variable. It says solve each equation and check your solution. If you didn't write down this and check each solution part on your guided note, please add it beside where it says solve. So you have it written solve, you need to add each equation and check your solution to that page. Alright, I think you remember from, or hopefully you remember from last week, how we solved equations that said c plus 12 equals 43. Well, the difference between those ones and these ones are we have a minus instead of a plus. And what we do when we have that minus, we have to remember our goal. Our goal is to get our variable alone. Okay, what else is over here inside this circle on the same side of the equal sign as the c? Well, we have this minus 12. We want to get rid of that minus 12 and make it 0. If we have minus 12, to make it 0, we're going to add 12 to the same side. And we know negative 12 plus 12 gives us 0, so we're going to cross that right on out. Then, think of what Nicholas says. Whatever's on this side of the equal sign, over here we have to do the same thing to the other side. So if we added 12 to this side, we have to add 12 to this side as well. Then the only thing left over here is c. So we're going to have c equals, and we're going to add 43 plus 12. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So we have c is equal to 55. Something I want to point out to you. Look really carefully here. I've got my equal signs in a line. When you write these problems, you need to write them in a line as well. Alright, now we've solved the equation, but we need to check our solution. Remember from the bell work, when we want to check our solution, we evaluate. Like we did last unit, you're going to evaluate the equation for c is equal to 55, because that's our answer we got down here. Alright, so we have c minus 12 equals 43. So instead of writing c on the next line, I'm going to write 55. Then I have 55 minus 12 equals 43. Okay, I need to do the subtraction, so I'll do it over here. 55 minus 12. Well, 5 minus 2 is 3, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So we have 43 is equal to 43. You know what? That's awesome. If they're equal, we know we've done it correct and we have the right answer. If for some reason let's say I got 41 over here instead of 43, I would know I'd made a mistake and that I needed to go back and check my answer. But because it said that it was 43, I know we've done it correctly, and I can move on to the next one. Alright, the next one looks a little bit different. The only thing that's different is our p is on this side of the equal sign. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Even though our p is on the right-hand side, it's going to be exactly the same process. So we have to remember, okay, we want to get our p by itself, our p alone. What else is on this side of the equation that is stopping us for having our p by itself? Well, it's this minus 52. Okay, to get minus 52 to 0, we're going to add 52. So that those two cancel out, and we'd be left with just p on this side. Now remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So because we added 52 to this side, we have to add it to this side in order to keep them equal. Then 2 plus 2 is 4. And 2 plus 5 is 7. So I would have 74 is equal to p. And I can write it this way. Again, notice my equal signs are lined up. It's very important that you keep your equal signs lined up. Now we need to check our solution. So we need to check that 74 really is what P equals. So we're going to evaluate. You could just even, you know what, instead of writing evaluate, you can just write check. So we're going to do our check over here. To do our check, we'll write the question 22 equals P minus 52. And then we're going to leave the 22. And instead of writing P, we'll write 74. So then I have to check what's 72 minus 74 minus 52. Well, 4 minus 2 gives 2, and 7 minus 5 is 2. So again, yay, we got it right. 22 is equal to 22, so we're nowhere correct, and we're done. All right, let's do this last example together. This one's different because it has decimals in it, but it's exactly the same idea. So I need to figure out what this n is. In order to know what n is, I need to get it by itself. Okay, what else is on this side that is preventing us from having, or stopping us from having our n by itself? It's this part right here, a minus 0 and 35 hundredths. So I'm going to add the same number to this side. That gives us 0, so I can cross it out. Whatever I do to the left side, I have to do the same thing to the right side. Now, I'm going to line up my decimals here because we're adding decimals, and I know that in order to add decimals, they must be lined up here in a line. Now, on this side, since I've crossed these out, I know I only have my n left, so it'll be n is equal to whatever 7 and 9 tenths plus 0 and 35 hundredths is. I'll add a little 0 here, so 0 plus 5 is 0. 9 plus 3 is 12. And I'll put my decimal place back in there. 1 plus 7 is 8. So my answer is n is equal to 8 and 25 hundredths. Now I need to do my check. So I start by writing my question. N minus 0 and 35 hundredths is equal to 7 and 9 tenths. And now I'm going to substitute or evaluate for 8 and 25 hundredths minus 0 and 35 hundredths equals 7 and 9 tenths. All right, now I'm going to do the subtraction for these two. So 8 and 25 hundredths minus 0 and 35 hundredths. 5 minus 5 gives 0. I can't do 2 minus 3, so I'm going to borrow from here. And I'll have 12 minus 3 gives 9. I keep my decimal, and then 7 minus 0 is 7. So yay, I got 7 and 9 tenths is equal to 7 and 9 tenths. And I know my answer is correct. That's all for our lesson today. You can go ahead and get started on your practice. I'll talk to you later.